You see, Steve, we have to pin it to the top of the group so people can find it because
Oh yeah.
Facebook's kind of a pain when it comes to sorting things. It doesn't always give you what you want at the top of the group.
Although I know the amount of effort and time and thoughtfulness we go through to pin this where it's easily accessible. I have a hunch very few people actually. I think people just see it in the feed and they go, "Oh, they're live now."
That's what happens when I see it. Like if I'm on and I see it, like it usually pops on my feed, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I gotta check it out. If I got some time, yeah.
I don't think anybody actually looks at this view. So this is what the group looks like when you go to groups. It looks like this. There's a picture, and then you got crap, and then you can invite people, and then right there are all the pin posts. And the cool thing about the pin posts is Tom has included things that are kind of cool, like disassembly, assembly nut pictures. We got the rules of the group. We've got some things like how to set up your knife, pictures of your scales. Look at that. Did you know at Rip Scratch Tech you could get Millie PM2 pair 3 scales? That's pretty cool. Yeah. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
We got Steve Ripplinger here tonight with us, and we're excited to have him because we get to talk about scales and screws and knives and knife parts and all that fun stuff.
All the things.
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Steve.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
So we've been asking Steve to politely and then a little less politely to be a part of the show for a couple years now, and you're a very good person, and it's been difficult to coordinate, but we're glad you did it.
Yeah. I'm glad it worked out.
So, Steve, tell us a little bit about yourself and your shop. I know you're located kind of near Eau Claire, Wisconsin, isn't that right?
Yeah. Chippewa Falls, just north of Eau Claire, home of
That's
Miami
right.
Cougars here. I'm sure some people know what that is. It's pretty famous now. Yeah, just north Eau Claire. I don't know.
So that's not far from Minneapolis, is it?
I think it's like an hour and a half ish from
Okay.
Minneapolis. Yeah. If you guys ever going by Eau Claire, it's probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes north of Eau Claire. The shop is. So, like I said, if you want to pop in, just shoot us an email. Stop by. I know he said it's a pretty common road to be on. So,
I have a couple friends from Eau Claire, that former coworkers, and I have to say your accent's like one of the more adorable. Like
I get made
we've got gross accents.
all the time.
Yeah, we got gross accents in the United States, and then we've got the ones you can't understand at all. And then, we've got the mush mouth ones, but then there's like that Eau Claire area. It's pretty adorable.
Yeah. Every time I talk to somebody, even like, I think I went to Blade's like twice. They're like, you must be from like Minnesota or Wisconsin. I'm like, yeah, don't you know?
We're all waiting for the you betchas.
Yeah. I'll try to throw them out. We don't actually do that much up here, but yeah.
Quintavious Washington, that is a majestic name, sir. You played football. You're no doubt a tight end or perhaps a running back.
He has a alias in the group. I think this is Giovanni, who joins us last night on my live.
Is that Gio? Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if he knows Librarian Booker and Legs Akimbo. Got some Packers fans here. Are you a Packers fan or a Vikings fan?
I don't really watch football, but I
don't watch football.
I have to support the Packers. I mean,
well, guess what? Everyone that's watching this right now, they don't watch football either.
That's right. Exactly. Right.
We didn't plan that. Didn't plan that, did we? So, Steve, I'm sorry I interrupted you earlier. You were telling us about yourself and your shop. Tell us a little bit about what kind of work you do there.
We just make mostly aftermarket knife scales, pocket clips, screws, random accessories. Try to make some good stuff. Do our best. We try to get creative, but I said you can only make so much stuff in a day. So
I don't know. I've seen pictures of your shop. You can make a lot.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff, but it also takes time and people to make it. So
no doubt. How long have you been at it?
Oh, I think probably 9 or 10 years now.
Wow.
I bet. Yeah.
I imagine when you started, there weren't many making scales, were there?
No, when I started, I remember I was on Blade forums. I think what happened was I started in 3D printing, just messed around, and my wife was pregnant with our first kid, sorry. And then I think I was bored one day, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy a CNC router. I get like that. I do a lot of impulse buying. I'm like, that looks cool. I'm gonna learn how to do that. So I bought that, and then I don't know, like a couple weeks later, I was making the typical wood signs, and like I think I just looked online, like, what's that stuff on that knife? What is that? E10, huh? All right. So got some of that. It's like modeled the scale, and I was on one of my gun forums, and the dude was like, dude, can I buy one? I'm like, yeah, I guess people buy this stuff. And then he bought one. He kept telling people, I think the guy might be in the group. He still talks to me once in a while. It's pretty funny that he's like my first customer. Yeah. I still remember him. Like when I see his name, like I know that guy. I remember him. But yeah, so I sold the first one. It kept going, and then I got on Blade forums. I think there's like Eric Shepard, Shep CC. He's a good dude. I like him. I talk to him once in a while. And then there was some guy making Griptilian scales. I don't remember his name. I think he might still be out there. And then there's like some Singwab or something. I don't know. It was like 3 people, the main players back then. And I got into it. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll try it. And then it just kind of snowballed,
Yeah.
Working in the garage, got 2, Tormach machines. And then I got a real CNC, as they call it. And then we stuck another one in there. And then we finally moved out to the shop now, and I think we've only been there for 2 years, maybe 2.5 now. And then now we got 6 mills and the Swiss and a bunch of other stuff. So, yeah, that guy.
I can't pronounce it. Is it spelled backwards? Bagnus. So I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, me either. If you have talked to me in real life, I am terrible at pronouncing things. Like, you might think I'm not a very smart individual sometimes. I'm not saying I'm smart by any means, but you might be like, whoa, what's wrong with this guy?
I understand you're the PM3 guy.
Yes, PM3.
Oh, it's you. Oh, you're the one perpetuating the lie.
Yeah. I got one of the special guests tonight. Another special guest. This is Emma, my oldest.
Hi, Emma.
She loves watching YouTube and stuff, and she wanted to be famous for a little bit. So,
well, she's famous now.
Yeah.
Emma, if you come on the show, you have to sing a song or you have to do a handstand.
Oh, don't tell.
I'll do a handstand.
Yeah, she'll do handstands.
Oh my God. Both.
Next show, we'll get a camera so we can point out. Here's the other one, Maggie. They said they're very excited.
Hi, Maggie. Hi, how are you? Is it cold there?
No, it's been pretty warm actually. Like
kind of warm.
30s. Yeah, for January, it's very warm.
Yeah, that Tom, very warm.
Yeah,
we're watching. There's people in Wisconsin that are walking around in shorts and t-shirts right now. If it's above like freezing, it's fair game for shorts here.
Very nice.
It's not even a joke. There's people that it's crazy. I never did that. I don't know. I don't get it.
See, me and Jason were talking about Midwestern memes because I don't know if they're true, but I see them and I follow some comedians, and that's one of them that now you confirmed that the shorts in the cold weather is like legit.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you guys are famous now.
That's right. So Miss Paula is in Florida, and Mr. Ryan is in Indiana, and Chase Mendenhall. I don't know where Chase is. Looks like he's somewhere. It looks like he's on the back of a horse and he's wearing a hat.
It looks warm.
I don't know where that is. Looks warm there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now you guys gotta go to bed. Now that you're famous.
Okay.
Hey, ladies, before you go, do you have a favorite pocket knife? Do you have pocket knives?
No.
No. Do you ever use Daddy's pocket knives?
You guys have one, don't you? You probably don't even remember.
Oh yeah, we have one.
You have one.
You remember?
The red one.
Yeah. You remember what kind it is? You were too little. They got Swiss Army knives.
Oh, cool.
The little ones. They haven't really used them yet. They just look at them.
Tom's kids jump into the screen in the camera all the time. My daughter doesn't like to be on camera, but yeah, normal thing. I think everybody's watching as kids too, so
Yeah,
they're used
yeah.
to it. Yep, we probably have somebody watching from Australia. Yep, Dan's here.
I installed Kid Blocker though for this episode only. The newly installed Kid Blocker is now here, so they don't have visual access to me during the show. They'll still
Kid Blocker
bust through.
3000.
Yes.
Very nice. Well, Steve, I think I first learned about you because of your titanium work. I'm thinking about where I would have first seen your work, and I remember when I first got into the hobby, like the most coveted thing you could have was titanium scales from Lynch. Casey Lynch had made like 5 sets or something like that, and there were 3 people in Facebook that had some, and they were just rarer than hen's teeth. And then right around that time, I discovered the fluted Millie that they came out with back in like 2013. And then I noticed there was someone else that was making fluted PM2 scales, and that was you. And I remember seeing those and just thinking like, oh my God, those are so cool. And then there's a pocket clip available with the fluting also matching the pattern. So that's where I first started seeing your work. And then from there, I think it was Micarta. Like when the world took over, when the world, went crazy for Micarta, you were there doing Blue Jean Micarta. And it just seemed to grow from there. And right around that time, we met you. I don't know if you joined or if we asked you to join, one or the other, but you managed to find the group. And I don't know. It seems like you're adding new product all the time.
Yeah, I mean, trying to as much as we can. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I mean, we get stuff built up, and like we got to try to take pictures and stuff, and it's how it is, the whole process to add to the website. So look at that.
I'm going to do a solo layout for you, Tom, so we can see it really well.
That's one of the early models.
Tell us about what we're looking at here. It looks like that. Is that hex or reverse hex?
Yeah, it's reverse hex. A lot of people get it confused, and it's hard to figure out why. The reverse hex is just the raised, like the hex is raised, and the micro hex is where the hex pattern on the inside is like cut as a pocket in there. And then our PM2 pocket clip.
So
yeah, that's the micro hex there. Yeah.
This is called micro hex. Now, I love the texture on this because it's really grippy, but not in a bad way. So it glides in and out of your pockets when you put it in your jeans. But when you grab it, there's so much for your fingerprint to grab. Really, really comfortable. These are also crazy light too. There just seems to be a skeleton of titanium. So would you say these are your lightest scales?
Yes, definitely. As of now, yeah, because it's got all the milling on it. Yeah, those take forever and they are a pain. That's why we don't do them on everything, because it burns through tools. And like when we do 5 sets of those, I think it takes like 8 or 10 hours to mill. Like just the pattern. Those don't take as long, the reverse hex, but
yeah, this is probably easier.
Yeah.
Yep. That's like just a single tool path around the pattern.
So another thing that I like about what you have to offer is you have, oh my God, at least 5 or 6 different titanium finishes that are available. People can get any finish they want. Like this blast finish that's on here is the most wonderful satiny finish, but it's probably more delicate compared to some others like the rough wash or what else do we have to choose from?
So here's rough washed, and this is stone washed.
Yep. Stone wash, blasted. Then you got your rough wash, and then your dark wash. I think
so dark wash probably looks the most oxidized. Is that right?
Yeah. We blast it with like aluminum oxide to give it a darkest finish as we can. And then tumble it for a little bit to give it so it's already pre-scratched, so you don't have to worry about it as much.
Doesn't that also harden the titanium when you like? If you burnish titanium, the hardness goes up. Isn't that true?
I don't know. Kind of. Yeah, it depends. I don't know if it's as bad as like I think how stainless can get sometimes.
Yeah.
Like work hardened kind of.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not a scientist.
I just noticed that when something's blasted, it snail trails a hell of a lot easier than if it's stone washed or if it's polished. So even
Yeah.
polished titanium is easier to take care of than a blast.
Yeah, the blast is definitely the worst. It's just because it's such a nice fine finish, and it's just such a yeah. You look at it, it scratches. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Here's a random topic I want to hit on before I forget, for these fine people. If they were looking at your website and they were going to buy a set of these scales and the drop down menu didn't have the finish they were looking for, what should they do?
Just email us, and like usually most of our stuff we stone wash. So if we have a stone wash one, we usually can get the finish you want within a couple days. Depends what it is. Or we can switch other stuff around if we have to. But that's generally the process. And I know a lot of people probably don't want to email us or just reach out, because we're usually pretty good about, responding the same day if we're in the shop. So, and I think we're trying to add it in all the descriptions and stuff. For those that you don't know, my mom and sister, they basically run the website and the shipping and do all the finishing and stuff. So, and a lot of other things. So they're usually the one you're talking to now. If you're talking to them in the email, I try to do the Instagram if I can and Facebook as much as I can, but I don't have a lot of time for that. So you get too busy, you can't do everything anymore.
This is a cool picture. We have stone washed, bead blasted, rough washed, and dark washed. So all four are available in the same pattern, right? So in this picture, you can see which one's right for you.
And we're trying to, we're actually just got a camera and we're trying to rework the whole site. If you go to like the PM2 clips.
Yeah.
I just started working. We just kind of got our settings dialed in last week, and that's what we're going to do. Oh, the site's being revamped too. So if you're going to order something, go to the brands page. But if you see right there on the Paramilitary 2 titanium, clips right there. Yeah, so this is some of our new pictures, and this is what we're going to try to do. We're going to do individuals, and then we're going to try to do the all the finishes. If you see that first picture on your bottom left of your screen there, we're going to try to do this, and we'll probably do some good ones too. But we also have been working on a fact, Danielle and my mom have, of we're trying to do that because there is a lot of questions like daily about all this stuff. It's like, well, what's this finish? What's this? And it's hard to. So said we're trying to work on that, so you guys can click on the fact if you have a question, so you don't have to bother us. Not that you're bothering us, but so we don't have to. So you can just go look at that and be like, all right, that's what I want. And if you guys don't understand it, please like tell us so we can like make it easier to understand, because it's easier for us because we do it every day. So I'm kind of bad about that. I just assume everybody knows what I'm talking about all the time. It's like, you should know that.
I'll be the first on. I'll be the first to admit that I've filled and emptied shopping carts many times because I wasn't sure exactly which one I was going to get. So an FAQ would be awesome.
Yeah. I think if you go to the top of the page, you should be able to.
There it is.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, so if you do materials and finishes, and like you said, it's a work in progress. But if you guys want to see anything on here, and you're looking at the site and you don't understand, definitely let us know and we'll get it added right away. But we're trying to kind of have a central database information for all this stuff, and we're gonna add pictures and stuff too. So that's my goal in the next couple months, is to get their site reworked so it's easier for people that don't know what this stuff is to understand it better. Said you guys know it's a rabbit hole.
It is. Yeah. Let's explain why you can't anodize black. Black is not a color that you can do with electricity. When you see black titanium, guys, it's actually heat treated. It's not it's heated with a torch. It's not an anodization.
Yeah, you can only get the colors of the rainbow because the light refracts off the thin oxide layer the anodizing creates on it.
Tom, can you name a color you can't anodize?
Red.
Red, that's right. Can't do red, can't do orange.
I wish we could, because we get asked all the time, and I really wish we could. It'd be nice.
There are companies out there that do it, and they're using aluminum. They're not using titanium, or they're using a coating that's not ano. It'll be you can do it with a ceramic coating. You can do it with a paint.
Yeah, speaking of ceramic coatings, we got we're bringing in some Cerakote scales. We did PM2s, PM3s. Sorry, I had to. What else? And then we did the skinny pair of 3, and then the contoured pair of 3, and then we're gonna send off some Sage 5 hopefully next week to Rec to get Cerakoted, and then we have some, I think the same stuff's at an anodizer that's gonna go crazy and do some really cool patterns for us in aluminum. So excited to get those back. And we got the Rec FDE PM2 clips now.
Awesome.
As well to match, and we're going to try to work on more Cerakote. It's a nice option for titanium. You know, you want that durability, but you also want some color that, you know, you can't anodize, and some people don't want aluminum. So
those are really, now I've been looking at a Sabenza. I didn't even think about this. This is going to have to happen.
So these clips are cool as hell. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like wire clips that want a replacement. And as awesome as Casey Lynch is, I know he's an amazing human being. He's an awesome guy. He's got an amazing warranty. I have to tell you that a bent titanium clip is not as cool as one of these. These are way cooler. And I happen to have one, Tom, right now on a small Sabenza.
nice.
So what's particularly cool about it is the low profile part. Like, it is very low profile. It's beautiful. It really dresses up a knife. So I already got it really cool. Why can't it focus? I got this cool wood inlays, and then I got the cool Damascus on the clip. So
nice.
The fun part when you buy these guys is you need to make sure that you're choosing the number of the color that you want, because that's exactly the clip you're going to get. That must be a nightmare, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, Danielle and my mom do it now, so
and
it's still a nightmare. It's a very long process usually, and you know, those for you photographers out there, man, these are a pain. Like I say, when you see them on here, they look like at least 5 times better in person usually.
Yes,
like,
they do.
You can't do justice with pictures of this stuff.
Yep. So Tom, depending on, like, if you're going to get a knife with, you know, box elder, then you might want something with more yellow in it.
Yeah.
If you're going to get something with bog oak, you might want something a little more brown.
I've gone through this process before with ordering one of these clips. It's hard. It's hard to pull the trigger on one.
Because we got a lot of Spyderco people in here. So why don't I show you? Let's see.
Ooh, Sage 5 scales.
Sage 5 scales. Well, before we get to that, let's do what's a wire clip, pocket clip? Little Native?
Yeah, Little Native, yeah.
So check it out, guys. If you like your Little Native, but you want to dress it up and make it look a lot cooler, this is definitely an option. For $54, you're getting a 3D milled, USA made clip.
Full lifetime unconditional warranty as well.
Wow. The contour is cool as hell. I think you get it flat with the bevel, or you get the contour.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on the clips pictures this week too, because we get asked about the contour a lot. It's very hard to show, and I haven't retaken pictures for a while. So yeah, these are really old pictures. Some of these are like that one on the Techno there is like, I think the first picture I took. Very old. That's all this. I think a lot of these pictures are from the shop, or when we were still in the garage.
Now this will work on a really any wire clip from Spyderco, isn't that right? Just about any Tai Chung knife.
Yep. I think like there's the pits, and there's one other one we've had some issues with where the spacing was a little off, and it could have just been their batch or our batch, because those are really like a hard thing to measure.
Yeah.
When you mill them. But yeah, we've only had like a couple guys with pits be like, yeah, this doesn't fit. I'm like, yeah, we've heard. And some guys have them on there, so I don't know. It's hard.
Like a couple of years ago, didn't you used to have issues getting the Bowie to fit, but you changed the clip and addressed on it? Used to be some compatibility issues, I remember, a long time ago.
Yep, the screw head for the Bowie was too big for what I was doing it, because I did it off the Techno, and it was like a couple thou. Like it's a very small measurement. It was annoying. So we just made it bigger. But now on some of the other clips or on the other knives, there's just a bigger gap around the screw. So, but we're working on screws for everything slowly but surely. We just came out with Sage 5 titanium screws. If you guys are looking to upgrade,
That's amazing. The factory screws from Taichung are really underwhelming. They're delicate. I've stripped out more than I care to admit, and it's always Taichung. It's never the Japanese knives or the USA knives. So upgrades would be really cool.
How are the people have the word out about these screws yet? Do people understand how good your screws are? Just want to be really clear. I've been trying to explain to people these screws are fantastic.
So if you guys have watched the shows for a while, you know that Tom and I spent a lot of time talking about how to set up a PM2 or a Para 3, and we'll tell you that you gotta tighten the screw and then loosen the screw and then monkey with the screw and fidget with the knife and dial it in until the action's right. And Steve, all three of my knives that I have with your screws in it, the assembly was simple. I just tightened them all the way down and the knife worked perfect. And what a wonderful change that is. Like I don't have to spend 10 minutes playing with it, getting my Loctite, trying to dial it in. It just works.
This Para 3 obviously is really cool, but I never carried it because I had black screws in here, like factory black screws, and it looked dope, but they always backed out and the scales always like rattled and you could tell something was off. I put your screws in, and the biggest surprise was like cranking them down. I'm like, I think it's tight, but like, no, it's not there yet. You just keep on screwing. It's like the tolerance is so tight in your threads that they don't back out because they're very well seated. So you just keep on screwing in, and they stop. And when they're stopped, they're done. The biggest surprise I had though was this is a Para 3, and titanium stop pins. It doesn't matter. I mean, nothing against you, nothing against anybody. Titanium stop pins are known to cause lockstick. This knife has none. I don't know if it's a fluke because it's a titanium thing, but it's amazing. This knife is absolutely dialed. And they went from a knife I didn't carry to switching the hardware out, and now it's just perfect, just tight as can be, no Loctite. It's dialed.
Yeah, we really try like to get our tolerances on those screws. Like the threads are usually on the upper end, if we can help it. That's a whole other rabbit hole if you want to go down threads. Trust me, it'll blow your mind. You can do a lot of stuff with them. And then the stop pins, yeah, I got them like it's close, like within like a tenth or two. Like that Swiss machine we got is really nice, and it really holds tolerance as well. And like I said, that's what's anybody who makes this stuff knows. Like knife stuff, tolerance is very important. You can make a loose tolerance knife and it's fine. But sometimes the tighter it is, it can be a problem. It can lead to problems too. But usually you're gonna end up having just an overall tighter knife.
I talked to another scale maker that told me that when he first started, he and his partner were working on the scale project. They started with PM2 scales, and they were going at it and going at it and going at it, and they were so proud of themselves because they were within 10,000ths of an inch everywhere, and they were so happy. And then they made a run, and they fit terrible. It's like they fit too well, and they needed to build in the right amount of slop so that it would work on more than one knife. And he and his machinist were both disillusioned because they were like, "Yeah, look, if we get to the half of a 10,000th of a thou, then that means we're the king of the world." And then they couldn't sell them because they wouldn't fit. Did you find that was the case for you?
Oh yeah, me and Tom were talking about this earlier. I think I redesigned the PM2 like 5 times, like completely. Our like lanyard tubes on ours are a little bigger, I think, than stock because the stock flared lanyard tubes, they like hit them in there with a hammer. I'm sure they have a press, but it presses it out, flares it, and like you got to have a little slop in there. Otherwise, especially with like titanium, you have no give. Like you can't just shove it in there. So, and that's like yeah, you got to learn. And I was telling them like to teach people this, like it's not just normal machining. It's just it's just different. There's so much stuff you got to pay attention to at a certain time. It's not like just go
Yeah.
make all these holes this size, and then well, what if your liner's too tight or too loose, and then these holes are too tight, and then it doesn't fit at all, and then you scrap an entire batch, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pain. It's a pain. That's why a lot of knife scales are so expensive. Honestly, it's very time consuming sometimes. Yeah, like I said, yeah, you can make really loose fitting ones that work fine, but who wants their lanyard tube rattling around? And even our said, occasionally people say, yeah, your lanyard tube rattles around. It's like, yeah, but if I make it too tight, you're going to be complaining too. I don't, you can't make everyone happy, but like I said, that's where like, not to say we're making like loose tolerant stuff, but if you don't like our stuff and it's not what you want, just send it back. We'll give you a refund. Or we'll get you something else. That's I don't want you guys to not like it or be unhappy.
Speaking of loose tolerances, what's pretty sloppy is the giant gap around the liners on the inside of these scales. When I first got these scales, I put the liner in there and I'm like, why does it move around? Why doesn't it like lock in place? And then I realized it's genius. They don't have to lock in place. They hold in place with screws. And that way there's less to like rattle and there's less to like touch of dissimilar metals and all that shit. Like that was a big surprise putting this together, was that not everything has to be like popped into the scale.
Sometimes you buy a Flytanium set and you have to beat the liner into the scale, and then you put the knife together and you find out that it potato chips because it doesn't want to play like that. It doesn't work so good. Now your centering's wrong and the knife doesn't open right, and it's because the liner's too snug. So
Yeah,
especially if it's only one liner. So yeah, you want to have the right amount of relief there.
Yeah, and then the PM3 you got, Tom.
Yeah.
The featherweight ones. We do actually take a bunch around the liner just to lighten them up, and you don't know how much that pains me to do just the way it looks underneath it. I try not to look under there; it bothers me. But I know it's a lot lighter, so it's like okay.
So there's very little left, which is a good thing. There's just not a lot of titanium here. It's a shell of these weigh nothing, but they feel very solid and full in the hand. So I don't know, they just work.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about the tie scales is just how light they are. Usually when you make the change, you're gonna be adding some weight to your knife, and then you drop these on and you go, oh wow, it's still lighter than all my other titanium knives, but it's the PM2 that I love. So
yeah, me and Tom were talking earlier. We were doing the test for this. I think the new Native 5s are very close to the stock G10, and then the Hogue Deca scales we make are also, I think, like great, like a stock. Like those are injection molded handles. I think I'm pretty sure on the Hogue Deca. I don't remember now, but yeah, it's like you can hardly tell. It's crazy, and we're trying to work all the scales like that. All of them. You can't always just the way they're made and the way the holes are. I mean, you could, but we would add like. Oh, I mean, hours of machine time just to take off, maybe like half an ounce. So it's not really worth it.
yeah.
Yeah, and I
also
think
a balance of I like that this is lightweight, but it's lightweight for titanium. It still has it still feels dense in your hand. It's like there is a point where you go too light, I guess.
Yeah, if you scroll down there, it says the scale weight, and then also below, it's got the stock. Yeah, the stock is 3 ounces versus the featherweight is 3.5. So that's 0.5 ounces. I mean, that's not much. Like it's hard to detect that in your hand. Well, for me, some people are better at it than I am, but
It's not an unacceptable change. If you there's guys out there with copper scales on their PM2s and they weigh 7.5 ounces. You got a half-pound knife? Are you kidding me?
mm-hmm.
So my
Yeah, even
Aramis pair of 3 weighs 3.5 ounces, and your titanium pair of 3 weighs 4 ounces, and it's titanium instead of carbon fiber, and it weighs only a little bit more.
By the way, guys, you can get Shaman Skinny Micarta, Shaman Skinny Terra Tough, Shaman Skinny G10. You get Fat Carbon. I mean, you guys like your skinny shamans. There's a lot of options here. We got Ultim.
Open up those top left corner skinny Shaman titanium featherweight scales. Those ones caught my attention.
These are not skinny.
Oh, there's not skinny. Okay.
Yeah,
Ooh,
they're probably. Yeah, there's
we do
a
get
million in there.
We do get an inside look here. So, guys, look, we have the nested liner portion here, but then there's the extra cavity inside as a weight relieving. We got the lock bar cutaway here, lock bar relief.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
cool.
some of that, like you said, that lightweight, when you try to get every ounce, like you said, it adds, sometimes hours to the machine time. Titanium, there is no fast when you machine it. That's why it's expensive.
Can we talk about that for a minute? I'm interested to pick your brain about that. I've been told that when you machine titanium, it doesn't cut like steel or aluminum or wood. All of us have had shop class, right? So we've used a router on a piece of wood before, and you run the wood across the router and it removes the material. But is it true that titanium starts acting goofy as you cut it, almost as if it's like vibrating?
I guess ours cuts really quiet because we're cutting with really small tools. But I know, like, if I cut with our bigger, like our face mills and stuff, yeah, it's fairly loud. I am not an expert in machining, believe it or not. I have, yeah, I just kind of learned it on my own, and it worked out. Lots of YouTube watching. That's more of a scientific question, but it is kind of it's weird, the chips when you mill it. You can just, like, if anybody's ever, like you said, I never had shop class. I did a lot of shop stuff with my dad and my grandpas, and I had a lot of uncles that did all that stuff, so I learned a lot. But like when you're cutting other metals, aluminum, anything, like you grab a handful of chips and squeeze it, like you're gonna cut yourself probably. Titanium, you can go grab a handful and squeeze it. It's nice and soft. It's really weird. Yeah, I'm not sure why it does that, but it's like just because it's so springy. But like I mean, you probably could cut yourself if you tried hard enough, but I've done it before. I've just reached and grabbed and played around and squished it a little bit. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat stuff.
I've heard it said that if you take your piece of titanium and you double disc grind it so it's super flat, and then you put it in your machine and you run the tool across it, and all of a sudden it's not flat anymore, and you're like, I just barely touched it. And it's difficult to maintain the flatness as you mill it. Have you found that to be true?
We haven't really got into a lot of that double disc grinding. We just do ours from plate stock. But yeah, it's like any other metal. Like there's stresses in the metals. And like I said, I'm not a scientist on this, but all metal is usually under stress when it's made, and like it's heated and cooled. It varies how it works. And then like when we mill ours, I think it's better to mill everything, because then technically it kind of gets stress relieved on all sides, if that makes sense. And like I said, I'm not an expert on this at all. I just have been winging it. But that's from what I understand. I was telling Tom, there's stuff that I get to a point, like I'm very good at picking stuff that I need to learn and stuff that I will just like block out. I'll get to like that point, like when you just are asking this stuff and I'm like, I don't need to know that my parts are cutting. And I'll just block that part out. If that makes sense.
It does. Yeah, it's funny.
And then I'll go to something I totally don't need to know and spend like 5 days researching it. So it doesn't make any sense, but that's how it is.
I'm starting to think maybe you're an unreliable narrator here, because Tom and I will throw an idea at you, and like a week and a half later it'll be done, and we'll talk to other designers or other makers or CNC experts, and they'll go, oh well, it's gonna be a 6-month project. So Somebody there is gifted.
Either you already had it way down the road, or I mentioned native scales to you, and I swear to God, you had them done in 2 weeks. You're either way on your way to getting them done, but
Oh, that must be Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Dan Tan would
Yeah.
like us to remind you to work on zirconium.
I saw that a couple times. I
Yeah.
know. I'm scared. I'm scared of zirconium.
He'll be all right.
I'll do it. I'll do it someday again. Said I got too much other stuff to do. But yeah, no, yeah, I was talking to Tom about that, and it's just funny. That's my brain's. Maybe I got a little whatever they call it, little scatterbrain. I think I get a little from my mom. She knows. She knows.
She knows.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's just like I said, if I get into something, I'm just really good at picking what I need to know and what I don't need to know. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird. Like I feel like it's a gift most days, but some days it's not.
I know sometimes for me, I don't feel like I need to understand every piece of something in order to use it or do it. So, I just kind of make I take what I need and apply it to what I'm trying to do. And, instinct will get me a certain amount of the way. And then I only need little pieces to keep going. So maybe you're kind of harnessing that energy.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like I just pick up on what I need to know, and then like if I see little tidbits, like I don't need to know any of that stuff. But yeah, no, I said I've had a lot of practice. 10 years of modeling knives and cutting them. We can do them pretty quick. I mean, if I got one in the morning, I'm sure I could have a prototype done by noon.
Yeah.
And maybe titanium scales by the end of the day if I was lucky. But it doesn't always go that way. It really depends on the knife. Like we got the neighbor kid. He just graduated high school early, and he's kind of been working during the day, and I'm trying to teach him some stuff. And I told him one day you're gonna have a knife. He was working on the Crew Carta PM2 actually. And
Good.
The liner knives, the full liner ones are kind of harder because you got to be right on. Because if you're not, you're gonna notice it when you cut that. And I'm like, some days you're gonna have the angles, and it's gonna take you 10 minutes, and then the next day it's gonna take you like 4 hours, and you're gonna hate it. And that's just how it goes. I said Spyderco's got a lot of good. Like once you learn, whoever designs them all, I don't know. I don't know if it's just Sal or who does most of it, or if it's pushed on other people, but a lot of them have they're all curved, like it's a continuous curve and arcs and stuff. And once you figure it out, like you can kind of look at it and you can not eyeball it, but you get a good feel for how they designed it, and you can pick the points where the arcs and stuff meet.
It seems like that would be harder, but maybe once you get the rhythm of it, you just kind of figure it out.
Yeah. So we did a small run for tactile knife, and they sent us the models for the which one is it now? The Maverick. Oh my, I was so happy. I was like, wow, we have a model. Wow, we have tolerances. This is easy. I can just go put it on there and it's gonna work. This is amazing. So Spyderco.
Were you OEMing for tactile? Is that what was going on?
Yeah, they had me do some small batches of stuff.
Okay.
Right away when they were I think I forget what they were doing. They were nice enough when I bought that Swiss machine.
Yeah.
Will let me go down there for a whole week and hang out with their Swiss guys, and
wow,
we did some shop tours. Stayed at Will's house. Oh man, he's such a nice guy. Those guys are all super nice down there. If you're on the fence buying from, go buy some from. They are really nice guys. Like they all took time out of their day for a whole week.
Yeah,
and like I just asked. I was like, I think I actually met him through my buddy Rick, Zero Feud. He's a very friendly guy, and he's talking to people all the time. I'm not that social. I am, like when I get to talking, I am, but I'm not. I don't go to my way to talk to people very much. But yeah, so we got talking. I think it was at like the first Blade show I went to. I met him, and it was like he called me to ask something once, and then Like he's one of those guys you just call him and he'll tell you whatever you want to know. Like he's super helpful. They both are. And I was like, hey, you don't mind if I come down for a week, do you? He's like, yeah, no, come on down. Yeah, so I went down there with Nick from Full Throttle. Both spinner guys and really cool guys. Well, we just went and hung out down there for the week and said it was like no secrets. Like they showed us everything. Like just don't take pictures of some of the stuff. It's like it's cool. There's a lot of nice people in the knife industry like that. It's like we don't hold secrets. Like if somebody asks me something, like I'll tell you. Like I don't care. Like whatever.
There's a couple out there that are super secretive, that are precious about their information, and they'll if you question them on it, they'll be like, well, this is how I learned, so screw you. And then there's others that will just tell you anything. You know, I know that to be true about Chris Reeve, or sorry, not Chris, Tim Reeve. Tim's an open book. He's happy to help other American makers, you know, make their products. So
yeah, exactly. That's what it is. As long as you see everybody else is doing good, that's what's important.
Right. It's sort of a rising tide lifts all ships, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. So I don't remember what we were talking about. I got distracted. But we made a small run of them when they were just getting in their Mavericks. And I think they were working on their hardware and their titanium versions. Like, hey, you make composites, right? Like, do a run for us. You're set up. I'm like, yeah, I had fat carbon. I had enough to do like I think whatever it was of each color. And I'm like, yeah, it's on the shelf right now. He's like, can you get started? Like, yeah, send a knife. Let's do it.
Nice.
So, and yeah, I think they're doing them now. But yeah, it was awesome. Like you said, when you got a handle to go off of the model, it was smooth. It was easy. I wish I could do that every day and make my life a lot easier.
That's awesome.
Yeah, reverse engineering a knife is not that easy.
No, I wouldn't think it would be.
You think you can reverse engineer one of these here coming up?
Yeah, I think so. If you send it to me, I'll do it.
Because I have a hunch you might have a market for a bunch of Bowie scales coming up.
That's a pretty good one to speculate on. Yeah, rumor has it you might be selling a lot of those.
Yeah, that'll work. I saw that guy asked. I got my mom and sister work for me, and then now I got the neighbor kids working for me. I had a couple machinists in the last couple of years that were pretty good employees, but stuff doesn't always work out the way you want it to. So
it's funny. You probably want, in my world where I work, we want them to have a certain amount of knowledge, but not too much, because if we have to unlearn them and retrain them, it almost never works. But if you can get them where they're teachable, and it takes a little longer, but it's better because you can build them the way that you want them to work.
I think that's exactly it. And me and Tom discussed this before. It's like I said, this stuff's harder than it looks. I mean, it is and it isn't. It depends how far you want to go with it. But like I said, there's so much to look at more than like just a simple aluminum block. You know, I mean, trust me, there's some really, really nice aluminum blocks that I would probably struggle to make. Don't get me wrong. Don't take that the wrong way, machinists watching out there. But I think you get what I'm saying. It just this stuff's pretty hard to get perfect, you know.
Yep.
Like you said, I can make junk scales all day, no problem with my eyes closed, but nobody wants that.
Tell us about your what are we calling them? The skins? The new skins?
Oh yeah, definitely. You guys should all try those. I'm hoping those take off. Those are really cool. I did not come up with that idea. It's pretty good or pretty big in the gun world. They stick it on about everything. And like, dude, the knife world needs this. Like, they need this. I'm like, I can make those. So I just bought a laser. This is where the I don't know, maybe a little ADD or something comes in, and like I look at something like, oh, that looks cool. I want to do that. So I bought a laser. I tried to do it on my fiber laser. I couldn't. So it's really easy to do. You just buy, you know, the Cordura material, put it on that 3M adhesive and laser cut it. And obviously we're good at getting the outlines already. So it was a no-brainer for us to be like, all right, let's just do this. And everybody that's got one, I don't know if, I think we've been doing them since November, I want to say. And I don't think we've had an email of anybody say they've fallen off yet.
I know Ryan Wade has a set, and he went crazy when he got him, put him on his knife and loved it. And he he was telling me the other day he was angry because he had sold off all of his G10 scales that he had pulled off his knives.
Oh yeah.
Now I got to go buy more G10 scales so I can slap more of these on him because he was loving it.
Yeah, it's a cheap budget way to modify your knife, and if you don't like it, you just rip it off.
Yeah,
It's
$20.
Yeah, yep. And like I said, if you want to see some other camels or something, I got some other materials. I said it's one of those things I can't devote too much time to it, but this is actually something I got the neighborhood working on so he can kind of learn. It's good, like, because for the outlines, they don't have to be perfect. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't like you're talking a thou. Like, if you're off 3 thou on a corner, like, you're honestly not going to notice.
Right.
And no offense to people that put them on. Anybody watching, I'm pretty good at it, but you can see it's a sticker. I mean, if you're not good at putting on stickers, it can be hard. But I did that video, and like I said, I can get them on pretty good right away. But the good thing is you can peel them back up, put them back on right away.
Right.
The adhesive isn't supposed to set, I think, for like 24 hours. So it's said it's a really good way just to try something. Like I said, you're like, I don't know if I want to mod a knife, I don't know if it's for me, or maybe I'm not going to like it, but what's $20, give it a shot. And if you put it on wrong, we'll send you another one. That's how we work.
A Chipotle burrito with guac and a drink is $20, guys. So
yeah, exactly.
What's that compared to some Codura?
Yeah, don't lie. We've all spent way more money on dumber stuff.
I know. I've done worse with dumber things. So
yes, exactly. So get the word out and try those. Said those are fun. They're a good project to do for us and teach people what to do. I think it's one of those fun things. It's like making scales. It depends on the day for me. You know what it is when something becomes a job. Sometimes you don't want to do it anymore, and then the next year, like, this is the best thing ever. I remember why I do this every day. And then that was kind of like a project where I got to distract myself for a little bit, go do something different. That's how a lot of my ideas or new stuff comes up too. It's like, I don't want to do my real job today. I'm gonna go do this. But it works out because I just make something else for a different knife, and that's how it works.
Yep. Patrick Bryan's got to run. He says, "Stay moist."
See you later.
Vic Wu says, stopping by to say hi. Facebook user says that we need a lightweight tie for the lightweight native 5.
Oh, I know. Trust me. I have had like the model of the backspacer for like probably a year or more now. And it's one of those, there's a lot of little side projects. It's like,
yeah,
if I could just clone myself a couple times and just be like, go do this, that would be excellent. Like I said, there's a lot of, like, the guys making them now, like, they know, like, it's not always the easiest to make some of this stuff. That's why they're not on the market.
Yeah, no doubt.
They said there's just little parts to it that you're like, oh, I don't want to mess this up. And, sometimes you got a lot of time in this kind of stuff. So, yeah.
So, Steve, what do you carry on a daily basis in your pocket?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm gonna get banned. Lately it's been 2 of those Knipex players, the flat one that I'm just posted a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And then the other 4 or 5 inch one, one, he's probably got him. Yeah, that one.
Yep.
And then the other one that's that same size with like the grippers. I don't know.
Cobra pliers.
Remember we went back, we talked about I'm really bad at naming things or remembering names of things. This is what I'm talking about right
here. The flatties and the grippies.
Yes, I should know this stuff, but I don't. And then I've been carrying that Leatherman arc a lot.
Okay.
I was carrying my own knife for the longest time, but then I went to the arc for a while. I'm like, oh man, I miss this because you got a pliers, you got all this stuff, and when you're out in the shop, it's like, I don't want to take 30 seconds to walk to the toolbox, as sad as it sounds. It's like, I'm just going to use my Leatherman quick. And then I just got the new, the Night Core. Is it the EDC 27?
Okay.
Oh, I should have grabbed my backpack.
Flashlight, Tom.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Flashlight. And then I got a tactile turn, the NES themed, limited edition pen that I've been carrying.
Yep.
Not a lot of my own stuff right now, honestly. You know, if you make it, sometimes you get sick of it, so you got to try other people's stuff. And then
Did you make pens or do you make pens?
I did a run a long time ago. I got the stuff. I'm probably gonna have to design a new pen because my new Swiss machine can't quite cut it the way I need it to. So it's gonna be a little more modular, smaller pieces. Yeah, I'm trying to get back and do some more again. But yeah, I did I think 200 titanium drafter pens, I call them, and then I did some copper and brass. Yeah, and back then, like, people don't I don't feel that a lot of people know about us. So we get asked about them a lot now. I just don't have the time to make them, so I should just talk to Tactile and have them do a smaller run, but it pains me to have other people make stuff. We have made everything except for those bottle saber bottle openers and the bottle bombers. And honestly think that's it. We've made everything in-house.
I'd love to see you do more pens, Steve. I have one. I love it. It's the right diameter. I like it. It's great. Yeah, it's a wonderful pen. And I carry it a lot and I show it off to everybody and they can't get them.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad because I usually carried that. Mine was anodized blue, and it's not even blue anymore. It's all scraped up and scratched, and I loved it.
The
It's
tactile pens are amazing, but
yeah,
I do think that their regular barrel is too fat, and their skinny is nice, but they don't yet make it in a lefty. So I'm gonna boycott until they make the lefty. Mike Miller, I'm coming for you. I've been asking those guys to do a lefty, and they keep telling me it's on the agenda. We're going to get to it eventually, but I do have a fat barrel lefty with the J lock. I forget they call it a bolt lock. Those are fun too, but I like a button more.
Yeah. The only problem I have with my clicky is I end up deploying it all the time when it's in my pocket, like when I lean over.
Yeah.
And then my work pants or any pants, there's an ink blotch. I need a pocket protector.
Yeah, I like a gel ink more than a regular ink. So if you accidentally click it out, you can ruin a shirt.
Yeah,
You'll leach into it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was talking to Tom. I know one of the guys was asking what we got in the pipeline. We're working on the Crew Carta model, the PM2. Waiting on is it the Micro Jimbo? I forget now. The new Micro Jimbo. And then we got the Military 2. That is modeled, but it's huge.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to make it's the biggest scales we've ever done. And I gotta rework the way we do things to get this thing on.
You have to think about like the size of the material that you're ordering in order to accommodate it.
No, luckily it will fit on our material. It's
good.
Kind of a universal size right now. And then I have that the lightweight Mannix, that white one that just came out. Tom had me.
Yeah.
What else do we got going on? I have a box full of Spydercos too that I try not to look at because it depresses me. I'm like, I just want to make all these, but I can't. I'm trying to think what else we got going on. So and said all of our Cerakote scales, aluminum scales are coming out. That's kind of what we're working on right now. We have kind of stopped making old stuff right now. I was talking to Tom. We got so much stuff. Like we're gonna have to start cutting some stuff at some point because it's getting to be too much to keep track of.
Yeah, I imagine inventorying every little piece, every little part's got to be hard.
Yeah, that's a full-time job of Danielle and my mom. So definitely, they're doing stuff with that all day, every day. I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, and then the hardware. If you guys want to see any hardware for anything, just let us know. Like I said, I'm trying to keep that going. But that's also like, whoa, are you okay, Tom?
Yeah, I was like moving all the screens around because I was trying to find the right button.
We all just went through a time warp.
Greg Bartram's got the right idea. That would be amazing.
I think it's the
Ooh.
Subvert. Oh, I think I have one of those. Is it really fat?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the
It's-
Danger Banana.
It's like
Yeah.
9 pounds of titanium, probably.
Yeah. I should probably lighten that up, huh? Yeah, I
That-
have one of those. It's huge. Well, super wide. Yeah, that one.
It's a frame lock knife that has scales on the outside of it, on top of it.
Yeah.
Like it's a knife with an extra knife on top of it.
Yeah, it is. It's a double. It's a knife sandwich.
Yeah.
Seems like a good candidate for Micarta, guys.
Yeah, that thing. I said I got one. I've never seen one in person until I ordered one. And I got it. I'm like, I've always thought it looked really awesome from the side, and then I got it out of the box. I'm like, oh my, I can't put that in my pocket. It's huge. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that.
Did it make you laugh when you opened it?
I don't even remember.
It's good for that. Like when you open it the first time, you giggle and you're like, "What did I do?
Yeah.
What am I doing? What am I going to do with this thing?"
Ooh, Dan, Spider Tan with a very good call, I would say.
That's actually what I bought it for because I know a lot of people hate that clip, and I got it drunken too. So
Ooh.
I know a lot of people despise both those clips a lot.
Yeah, you'd sell quite a few of those because the thing that people do is they buy the drunken and they have it and they love it and they take pictures of it and they talk about how it's clearly the best quality Spyderco they've ever held, and then they sell it 2 weeks later because they can't bear to put it in their pocket.
Yeah,
and I know I've been up and down that mountain twice. Like I've owned 2 of them, sold both.
Yeah, I like the knife in the hand. It's a really good feeling knife for sure.
I had a custom clip on my drunken anyway, and it was really nice, but it was too big. It was too much. The ones that there are options out there. So something that's simple, because I like how the drunken clip is just like one screw, and it should be minimal because that's kind of like the aesthetic they're going with, like that wired out clip. It just doesn't feel good in your hand.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's I remember when we started talking about the clips right away. That's my first clip I designed was the PM2 clip, and my whole goal was to make. I wanted the real low profile one. That's what I wanted. I'm like, I like the stock clip. It's okay, but it's like I want to make some for this. And that's you'll notice a lot of our clips are pretty small. I know Jason's keeps begging me to make a thicker one for thicker work pants. I know.
I don't want it thicker. I just want it taller.
Yeah, a little bit. Like you mean, yes, just a little bit taller so it goes in thicker pants. And I know sometimes the other clips when you put them in like really thick Carhartt pants, it's kind of a pain. But that's where, like I said, that's what I really try to focus on with those, keeping them low profile but milled. Yeah. So that drunken is probably the perfect project for me then.
You need more.
There's only a couple people that make clips for the Subvert and the drunken, and they're very hard to get. They're occasionally made, and I'd like to see more competition there. The one I have on this drunken, the Subvert I call anything worth doing is worth overdoing. This one has a giant clip on it, and it's so big it actually doesn't stay still. Like no matter how much you tighten the screws, it will wiggle up and down because it's such a big chunk of titanium.
Yeah.
Not a clip.
Yeah, that's another thing I need to focus on is I want to do here soon is do the Taiwan. Is it what's the all those screws, the M2s and the M2.5s?
Oh yeah, the clip screws for the Taichung knives.
Yeah, I need to do that because our clips will fit on a lot of them, but we get asked all the time. And I just found out recently that I thought they're all M2.5, but somebody said some are M2. So we're going to try to work something out with that soon because I know a lot of people are like, well, like McMaster has, you can buy 25 screws, but nobody wants to buy that. Or the ones off Amazon, you've got to buy 20. Nobody wants to do that. And, they're like $20-$30, or you're going to get the cheapest Chinese steel screws you can get. And they're going to snap off when you put them in there.
I want a soapbox about that for a minute. You guys, there's a lot of people that go to Etsy and they buy their clips and they buy their screws there. You're not buying it from somebody that's whittling it in their garage. You're buying a Chinese rebranded or Alibaba style product. And it's the reason they're $13 for a whole set of screws is that they're not very good. And
but it includes a pivot with it for free. Free pivot.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
So when you look at an American-made titanium set of screws, and they're $50 to $60, and then you look at Etsy and they're $13, you're going to get what you paid for, or you might not even get what you paid for. You might have thought you were buying screws, and you're getting I don't know, chewing gum wrappers shaped like screws. So
Yeah.
I don't recommend it. Buy good quality, buy once, and you won't have to buy twice.
Yep. And like I said, if something happens, we've had a couple people with screws stripped. It's like, send it in, we'll try to get it out. And I mean, I don't want to tell people this, but sometimes we'll even, be like, we'll buy you a new knife if we have to. If we break it, it's like, it's our fault. Like, it happens.
So we talked about this before the show because I wanted to make sure I was on the right path, because I looked at his price and I'm like, wait a second. These seem exceptionally reasonably well priced for what you're getting. So I wanted to confirm that these are fully titanium, full hardware set for a pair of 3 for only $40. That's made in the US by hand. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you look, that's just what's pictured. I think if you click the drop down, it might not be in here, it might be in a different spot, but like, we're trying to rearrange this. It's we got so much stuff. It's hard to make it easy for you guys
Ooh,
to navigate.
DLC.
Yeah.
So
we got
Tom,
a lot of DLC stuff now too.
the thing that kicks up the price is the lanyard tube.
Yeah. Yep. That's
Yeah.
what I was going to say. Yep.
Okay.
And the DLC, that's expensive, and it takes 4 or 5 weeks to get done. And so this actually, the full hardware kit is just screws, or
Okay.
like if you click that and let the drop down hang. I think it went too quick.
With lanyard tube.
Yeah, I can't even see it on my screen.
Okay. I can't look at both at the same time.
No, that's fine. But yeah, so you'll see, like, it'll have like with lanyard tube or without, and we're working on the descriptions and stuff. So but we're trying to make these more reasonably priced. I know at first I had them kind of up higher, and me and Tom talked about this, and like, I want to get these out there because I know they're good, and I'm a lot more comfortable running the machine now than I was right away. And I'm like,
Yeah.
So it's just kind of evening out now, and that's just what happens sometimes. So sometimes you got to pay for the extra R&D I had to do to get to them, and then if I can, I'll try to get the price better for you if I can do it. Sometimes you can't, and we really haven't raised prices on anything forever. So I know a lot of other people have.
Christian, you're right. There are some cottage scale makers on Etsy. That's true, but many of them are not, and some of them pretend to be. There's one called I'm going to say the name wrong because I don't want to get sued later, but Pacific Sisters.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a U.S. company, even though they have a dude guy bro vibe. There's a reason why that clip is $5, and they claim it's titanium. We've had many people in the group buy those and then try them, and within a week they bust. They literally snap.
I've had people email me like, "These are yours, aren't they?" I'm like, "No, those are not mine." I'm like, maybe they could be a very, very early version before we engraved them. Then I zoom in, I'm like, no way, man. And they got just a little bit of everything, if you catch my drift, from a little bit of everyone.
Yeah, those Atlantic Suns, they take other people's designs and then they copy it, and they do it poorly, and they use poor quality titanium. If it's titanium, it's hard to tell. And then they paint it. They call it painted or Cerakoted. It's probably just paint. I don't know. It looks like Krylon to me, Tom. So, again, you get what you pay for. If you want a clip-shaped object for $8, they have one. But you're not going to get a durable clip with a lifetime warranty that's going to hold up.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I want to say that stuff so much on the internet. It's hard. I can't.
I know you can't say it, but I can say it.
Yeah, you can. I have to restrain myself.
Don't buy that King Ranch truck and put linglongs on it. Right?
Yes.
We don't do that. We don't put linglongs on a King Ranch. Don't buy the Cummins turbo diesel and put coon hose on it. You're gonna put good tires on your truck. You should put good clips on your knife.
Yep. Yeah, from people
Yep.
But
so yeah, I will say it because I know you can't. Yep. And then I really want to talk about our friend, but we're not going to go there. Anyway, there are some copycats out there, aren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are kind of funny. Sometimes you'll go, yeah, I want a sharpener. I want to buy a sharpener. I want to learn how to sharpen. What can I get for about $47? And I'll go, man, I know you got 50 knives.
Right.
I know you're going to buy another 20 this year. Like buy 19 knives and get a good sharpener.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, Steve, is there anything else we should cover? Anything else coming up you want to talk about?
I'm good if you want to keep going for a little bit, or if you're done, I'm good. Whatever you want.
I'm pressed for time and I need to jump off. I've got homework to do for work tomorrow, so
Okay.
I better get to it. But does anybody have any final questions before we sign off? We'll throw it out there for the group and see if anybody has anything left to ask about.
Yeah, and we'll
What's up,
do
Brian?
we'll try to do it in the shop next time, and we can do a little more show and tell.
I'd love that.
And maybe we'll get Danielle and Sandy on here too.
Yeah.
You guys can torture them.
Absolutely.
You torture them all day, every day when you email them anyway. So no, they like it.
Oh, and guys, if you want the MPM2 P3 scales, they're only available at Rips Garage Tech. Thank you for doing this, by the way. This really made me laugh and made me smile. I know we worked on a design for months and then, kind of threw it out there for the group to look at, and everybody hated it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we worked out, I think it was more like over a year.
It was a long time.
Yeah, but within that 5 minutes of DMs, we had a new design.
Within 5 minutes, we mocked up a plan B, and I couldn't be happier. I think it looks killer. The laser turned out awesome.
Yep. Yeah. Who? What's the guy that did that? That's awesome work.
Martin Colombo.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Yeah. We were gonna try to do some more, but we haven't been in touch for a while. But yeah, when you guys want to try something else, let me know. I'm down for that.
Awesome.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Thomas.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm glad you could be here. I hope you have a nice week. Tom and I'll be back next week, and maybe we'll have another magical guest. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just wing it. I don't know. We're talking to some people. We're trying to get some people on the show, and we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll have a sample of something to show the group, Tom.
Maybe.
Entirely possible that we could have something to show off.
Well, that sounds like an excellent reason to tune in next week, folks.
I agree. You guys should tune in. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have a nice evening. We'll see you later.